Cause we really from Oakland, no. Cause we really from Oakland, no. East Oakland, West Oakland, North Oakland, but Alameda got the man. What is the deal, Raider Nation? Once again, it's your boy Panama Fargo back again with another episode of the Raider Rundown. And it's always sweet to come to y'all with another episode after a Raiders dub. So today, man, what we gonna be doing? We're gonna be giving you the rundown of yesterday's game versus the Green Bay Packers, right? How did the Raiders come away with the win? What do the Raiders really need to focus on, right? We always gotta think about how we can get better. And at the end of the day, right, we're gonna preview some of the things that we're gonna be talking about during the week because I got a lot of narratives to give y'all after seeing yesterday's game. So without further ado, let's go ahead, get this intro started, and let's get the show cracking.
As a young guy, I had a dream that someday I would build the finest organization in professional sports.
What is the deal, Raider Nation? Once again, it's your guy Panama Fargo. Make sure you guys are tapping on that like and the subscribe button. And please hit on the little notification bell so you get updated whenever I drop episodes like this one right here. But like I was saying, man, it's always sweet to come here after a Raiders dub and talk about the game, give you the rundown of the game. So that's exactly what we're going to do, right? Talk about the negatives, talk about the positives, some of the players that really stood out in a good and bad light. So at the end of the day, we're going to talk about the whole game yesterday, really break it down. And I'm going to give y'all just a little previews of some of the narratives that I got coming to y'all for this week. You know, I got to come with some of my predictions, some of the narratives that I, get from my head. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get it started. Now, the Raiders came away with a dub, 17-13. Realistically, left a lot of points on the board. The score could have been worse than what it was, right? But like I was saying yesterday in my live, my post-game reaction, I didn't care how the Raiders won this game, right? This was a game right here that I did not care how you won as long as it's in the column as a win, right? Because we had to get back on track. We lost the last 3 games. We had to just find that winning groove again, right? So yesterday, didn't really care how it came and what form it took as long as you got the win. Now, building upon this, the Raiders need to do a number of things better to be able to be taken seriously as somebody to say, okay, we might be able to go on a run. Because as of right now, yesterday was a nice little win. But for me to feel confident in this team to go on a run, to really turn the corner, you got to beat teams that you're supposed to beat. And not only beat the teams you're supposed to beat, but really whoop their ass, right? Really put your foot on their necks because that's what good teams do. For example, right? Yesterday, we had 3 takeaways as a defense, and we're going to get into more of them later. But 3 takeaways as a defense, a good team, a very good team capitalizes at least 1 touchdown out of those 3 turnovers. A good team does that, right? We came away with, I believe, 3 points, right? I think that's it. 3 points for 3 turnovers. So a good team will capitalize by putting points on the board. That's the corner we need to turn. Still shaky offense, right? The rundown of it, the shaky offense is still a thing. We're in week 5 and still have yet to score over 20 points. Now, I will be one to say we can't really have that argument for this week because Daniel Carlson missed 2 field goals. All right. Now, yes, that adds on to what the offense is doing. But at the end of the day, with those 2 field goals, we're looking at 23 points. 23-13 is a 10-point win, right? We look at it a little different. So without those 2 missed field goals, like I said, we look at this game different. But at the end of the day, we got to look at what the offense is producing. And the offense is not producing enough points by themselves to be able to win football games. Luckily, our defense is coming out and playing better than I thought they would play. And yes, I thought they was going to take a step up. But to this degree, right, it's something that's fucking amazing to watch as a Raider fan. If you're not a Raider fan and you in here, I need y'all to understand, right? Our defense has been horrid, like embarrassingly bad. Bro, do you understand the amount of moments us as Raider fans has been through watching this goddamn defense year in and year out give us embarrassing ass plays? And finally, we're starting to see the talk that was coming out of training camp come to fruition. Get your hands on the football, getting turnovers, causing disruption. This is the shit we need to be doing. which leads me to a narrative we're going to talk about later. But at the end of the day, this defense is very, very surprising. All right. The average against this defense is 19 points. They're holding teams to 19 points. If you were to tell us that before the season started, if you told every Raider fan before the season started, by week 5, your defense is holding everybody to 19 points, we'd be sitting here like, well, shit, we about to be 4-1, maybe 5-0, right? You could tell me if I'm lying, but before the season, if somebody would have told you that the Raiders defense is holding people to 19 points, we'd be sitting here like, oh, yeah, bro, we about to have one of them seasons. But the offense has been disappointing, and that's something that needs to be corrected. Now, as far as let's start on the offensive side of the ball, because I feel like that's where more of the negatives are coming from, right? Number one, Jimmy G is still not playing to the level we need him to play, right? That's first and fucking foremost. He needs to get his shit together. Win, no win, regardless of it, Jimmy needs to play better. He is the driving force of the offense, right? And regardless of what we want to say, it's Josh Jacobs, yes. But at the end of the day, Jimmy's inability to either see receivers down the field or hit them down the field is now very much a hindrance to Josh Jacobs in his game. So the key for the Raiders offense to really get going is simple as Jimmy Garoppolo needs to get his ass in gear, right? I mean, yes, some of it is to blame on McDaniels because you brought him here. But at the end of the day, right, he as a player needs to be better. I think Josh McDaniels, for the most part, the schemes and the way he's calling plays ain't that bad. I don't think it's that bad. Now, do I have a problem with Josh McDaniels situationally? You bet your ass I do. Because once again, yesterday, more situational dumbass shit that happened, right? We'll get into that again. But as far as the play calling, right, the schematics of it, I like it. But Jimmy Garoppolo needs to be able to take advantage of what Josh McDaniels is trying to exploit, right? And as of right now, he's not doing that. And you can see it's hindering everything else on the team. We only got 2 receivers that's getting a bulk of the targets. We finally saw Michael Mayer yesterday. Finally, right? And newsflash for you folks, everybody that has been mad at Michael Mayer or mad at no production, he's been open like that all season. The shit we saw him doing yesterday, he's been open like that for the 5 weeks. He's finally got a target and could have had more if Jimmy would have hit him wide open on the sidelines, right? But number one, Jimmy Garoppolo needs to get his shit in gear. All right, that's one rundown of the offense. Number 2, right, this offensive line, and it's not the whole entire offensive line. I want to talk shit about Andre James, but I really can't, right? He hasn't been too terrible. What really is fucking us is that Jermaine Illuminor is not good this year. He's not been good this past 5 weeks, right? Greg Van Roten has been terrible these past 5, just terrible. To me, he's the worst O-lineman. Greg Van Roten is terrible. If we were going to get this type of production from him, we might as well have stick with Alex Bars, right? Or goddamn it, put Meredith in there. Slide Illuminor to guard, something. But that's the weakest link, right? Andre James is okay. You know what you're going to give him. You know what he's going to give you. Dylan Parham is okay, hit or miss. Needs to be working on being consistent more. Colton Miller, to me, has been very disappointing. Very disappointing. I mean, most people can, kiss his ass all they want, right? But he ain't played good either. And he's supposed to be the guy on the offensive line that's the staple. The one that we know is going to play well. He hasn't produced like that, right? I may be wrong. You may disagree. But to me, Colton Miller's been very disappointing. He needs to play better. So the entire offensive line, although some are worse than others, need to have some type of consistency about themselves, right? Now, I do think it's some of what falls back on the first rundown. Jimmy not playing the way he needs to play because you see teams crowding the box and saying, we do not respect your deep passing game, which why should they, right? The longest shit we do is like 20 yards. It's the longest pass we have in this offense, it seems like 20 goddamn yards. So at the end of the day, we need to do more as an offensive line to get going. We really need to do more to get going. Right? For the first couple of weeks, we thought the pass blocking wasn't going to be an issue. Now, all of a sudden, here we are, inconsistent, giving up sacks, giving up pressure, right? And at the end of the day, it doesn't help when your quarterback already has happy feet. It's going to be extra now that he has to feel that O-line pressure. So they got to be a little bit more consistent. Josh Jacobs, to me, right, he's back. Right now, I feel like it's to the point in the season, right? We're starting to see that old shit now. right? And when I was saying that before, a couple weeks before, of him not being 100% there, I still buy that, because at the end of the day, I'm not because I think he sucks or anything, but because I feel like it takes a minute to get your body ready to play NFL games at NFL speed, regardless of how well you did the previous year. It's a new year, right? So now that it's week 5, we're going into week 6. I expect to see more and more of that Josh Jacobs we used to see. And now yesterday we saw some more, but the offensive line, now it's on the offensive line. They got to give him some goddamn help now. Jimmy has to give him some help now. That's what it is. Next rundown of this offense, finally we see some rookies flash. Give the ball to Trey Tucker more. Please, please, for the love of God, give this man the ball more. Give Michael Mayer the ball more. Please, Austin Hooper, use him more. If we're not going to go down the field, at least spread the ball around to different people, right? Spread it around, bro. If that's not what we're going to do, like, at least we spread the ball. We get people involved. We move, right? Left to right. We make the defense have to look around, see what's going on. Use some motions. Use some pre-play motion, something. But at the end of the day, we need to start getting more people involved. And we saw kind of what it looked like when a majority of the offense starts to get involved. We look better. We move the ball better, right? We have a little crispiness about us. So at the end of the day, that's something that needs to stay for the long term, right? Devontae's going to be Devontae. I think yesterday the shoulder injury might be a little thing, and they weren't trying to feed him as much, as you can see with the damn near 10, 11 targets to Jacoby Myers, which, once again, like I said, free agent signing of the year, damn near for us, because that motherfucker right there, I knew he was going to be good. So at the end of the day, you know, got to spread the ball over and more, around a little bit more. Last rundown of the offense. Hunter Renfrow's as good as gone. All right, to me, he's gone. All right, you don't use him. I told y'all before the game, right? If you don't see him out there a lot, getting a lot of work, we might as well count the chickens to roost. Because at this point now, I'm not saying I'm ready for them to get rid of him because of the talent. Once again, I will reiterate it. I do not think Hunter Renfrow is a bad football player. I think they're not utilizing his skill sets correctly. So in that instance, you might as well send him to a team that's going to utilize him correctly and get some capital or get a player that's going to help you immediately, right? That's what we need to do, because we're paying this man $13 million to sit there and be a decoy, and he's not that great of a run blocker. So we're saying, what are we paying him for, right? So give him to a team that's going to utilize him at this point. If you don't think you can be able to do that, which is crazy, right? But if you don't think you'll be able to do that, you have to give him to somebody that you think can. And at the same time, recoup some type of defensive help, because that's what I'm focused on right now, right? So, boom, transition now. What's the rundown of the defense? Awesome. Fucking dogs, all right? Max Crosby, we know what that is, bro. What is understood does not need to be explained. But when you talk about now, you look at the interior of the Raiders defensive line, although, albeit to me, still not as the strongest it could be. But the past 2 weeks, they played better, right? The past 2 weeks, the interior pressure has been coming. Adam Butler playing very well. Jonathan Jenkins playing very well. Even we got some Bilal Nichols sightings. Play good, right? A guy I don't like, me personally, Jerry Tillery. What the hell is he on the team for? Except dumbass penalties, right? Because everything else he don't do. He don't stop the run. He don't rush the passer. Like, so what are we paying him for? Some shit you need to, some dead weight it's time to drop. But at the end of the day, the defense, all in all, played well. And even with injuries, no Jacorian Bennett, no Nate Hobbs, right? Marcus Epps was almost a scratch, right? He comes out. Robert Spillane plays better. Diablo plays better. Look at Robert Spillane coming up with interceptions, right? He played his ass off yesterday. Amik Robertson, like I said yesterday in my live, I don't care when I can admit I'm wrong, because if I admit it I'm wrong, that usually means it's a good thing, right? I don't want to be right about some players not being good or anything like that, because if I'm right, then that's a bad thing. So cool. I was a guy that said Amik Robertson probably shouldn't have made the 53-man. I will eat my words gladly, right? I am happy this man is making some type of contribution, bro, because when we drafted him, I actually liked him coming out. I really did. But, you know, inconsistency here and there maybe fall out of favor. But now looking at him, he looks more consistent, looks like he's ready to make more plays. Put him on the field, goddammit. I'm ready to see him more. I'm ready to see him more because he at least got that mentality that I like, right? He's got that dog in him, and I fuck with that. So, Amit, game ball, right? Game ball. Defense, damn near whole defense. Game ball, right? The whole defense played lights out stellar. Now, Marcus Peters had the little, I don't even know if it was Marcus Peters really. I think it was Amik Robertson who gave up the long bomb to Christian Watson. But at the end of the day, some people are gonna blame Peters for that. It's not Peters' fault, but Peters saved us a goddamn touchdown, right? When he tackled Christian Watson, or let's say horse collar tackled him, that was to save a touchdown. And that ultimately saved us 4 points because the Packers only got 3 off that. So at the end of the day, very savvy veteran play. Savvy veteran play. You stop them motherfuckers from scoring at all costs, goddammit. This is football. I don't want to hear no soft shit like how somebody was talking about, oh, if he horse collar tackles him that close, they should just get the points. Shut up. Shut up. This is football, bro. And I like that shit. That's that Raider shit. I like that. So defense, stellar, right? That's the rundown of it. They're stellar. And to me, it's time to go put the chips all on the table for this defense, bro. If they are serious about adding a pass rusher, which we're going to talk about later on in the week, you fucking put your chips to the table and get a top flight guy. Do not penny pinch. That's my message now, right? Don't penny pinch on this defense no more. We see what it could be with guys you barely pay. With bro, $62 million only invested in this defense, 102 invested in the offense. If you don't fucking invest in this defense with Patrick Graham, because they seem to be playing for him, it's a travesty by the front office. It's a front office, bro. That's a travesty. So at the end of the day, the rundown of it, defense playing strong, stronger than most of us anticipated. Me anticipated they were going to play. Offense still needs to get their ass in gear, but we have a lot of favorable games coming up. Now let's focus on New England just a little bit. You need to come out here and whoop their ass, right? I will not accept a 17-13 win this coming week against New England. I won't. I'll be pissed. I'm going to let y'all know that right now. It's Tuesday. I'm going to be mad as hell if they come out here and look that same way against New England. Why? Because New England's a worse team than Green Bay. They're a worse team than Green Bay. Mac Jones is struggling. That offense is struggling. That Bill Belichick don't know what the hell he wants to do. You cannot come out here and make New England look better than what they are. That's a step back. You've taken a step forward here, getting the win by any means necessary. Now you must build. You must build on that win and become better week in, week out, because that's the only way we're going to see growth. And we're only, as a fan base, we're going to say, okay, we're headed in the right direction, right? So at the end of the day, we need to see more of that. Now, what's on the slate as we go? What's the narrative as the next week? Number one, time to go all in on this defense. That's my number one. So we'll be making a video about that later on in the week and what are the steps we need to do to really go all in on this defense, right? Number two, what do we need to do to fix the O-line? Very, very simple solution to me, right? I think if any of y'all were really paying attention yesterday to what I was saying in the live, right? We pretty much know what we need to do, and I think that starts with Big 77, right? But we'll get into that more. Okay, so at the end of the day, changes on the offensive line need to be made because I think there are players that are not starting that are more consistent than the veterans we have in there. And number three, right? Can't tell y'all just yet, but tune in. You know we're going to go through the New England film and do all that. So I'll tell you the next narrative as the week continues. But you know y'all got to stay tapped in to the kids channel, man. Make sure y'all tapping on the like, tapping on the subscribe button. Hit the little notification bell, right? When I go live, when I do anything, y'all will get the notification. Stay updated on it. I'm going to go live again this Thursday. We're going to have a big panel this Thursday. So make sure y'all are staying up to date with that, man. We're going to be talking some good Raider football. Make sure you guys are hitting all them buttons. And you know I keep it authentic from the clouds to the ground on the Raider Rundown.
I need a bad bitch with an accent, serving in peace, still taxing. Just got tapped for the young cash app, moonwalking like a young Mike Jackson. Yeah, shots to the head, ride clean and still fuck feds. Realest nigga and it's on my kids, so who the fuck gon' wanna test me, bitch?